Hey guys, my name's Don Binkley. I'm one of the directors of property providers here based in Sydney, and I wanted to have a quick chat with you guys about fees and some misconceptions around how much you should be paying for short-term rentals. Now, part of the issue is often, what a short-term rental agency does and what a traditional long-term pedestrian franchise does is bucketed in the same group. But it's actually like comparing apples with watermelons. What a long-term leasing in a property that is unfurnished, unequipped, with a full-time tenant that is in that property using for 12 to 24 months is far, far different than what a short-term rental agency does, albeit with extended stays or with holiday rentals or with corporate relocations that would have a property that is fully furnished, fully equipped with, cookery and crockery, TVs and, Wi-Fi and, all the fixings, with guests who are coming in on a regular and relevant basis, and that could be every few weeks, could be every few months. A long-term leasing agency would, do an application and set up a lease and take the bond and take the rent and ongoing. Whereas a short-term rental agency is doing that all the time. And frankly, there's far more to manage in a short-term rental capacity because not only the tenants come through a property that is more fully equipped, it's more to manage, more appliances, but you're also talking about 7 days a week, same-day changeovers. You're also talking about, vetting, neighbor relations, all these kind of things. So often when you think about a short-term agency versus a long-term agency, it's kind of it's not a fair comparison. Sure, a long-term agency 6 to 9%, or 6 to 10% based on what they're doing, whereas a short-term rental agency has more management. So I went out and did some research because some of my clients were like, "Oh, you guys are expensive." And I'm like, "Well, hold on. We're comparing large, high-volume, low-margin business service to a lower volume, higher touch service." So I went out there and did some research. And I had to dig around because it wasn't a lot out there. But the good news is that Bain & Co., which most of you guys will know, did an international benchmark. And there is some stuff going on here in terms of industry aggregation. So there's more and more knowledge of this. Did a study, Bain & Co., large auditing firm, did a big audit. And they found that typically a full service agency is 30% of the total booking. Moreover, what they discovered was that, the rates would really range from 20 to 30%, kind of 20% in rural towns where there's lots of availability, higher levels of stock, easier transport to and from, etc. Was in the lower side, whereas in urban centers, what was really interesting was to find that the mountain, in some cases, was up to 40%. So if you're looking at full service, you're looking at somewhere between 20 and 30%. I would say if it's an apartment, you're probably an apartment that's pretty much the strata takes care of most things. You're probably seeing a lower of 30, 20. If you're in a house with a pool, it's a little bit older. You're probably seeing closer to 30. When you say partial service, this is our booking agency service, and overseas, they're usually about 18 to 22. The smaller are sitting about 15 to 22. We charge somewhere between 15 and 17% depending on what it is. And then the aggregators, this is Airbnb, this is Vrbo, they're charging 15. So if you think about Vrbo and Airbnb, they're providing at 15% versus, who are just marketplace versus what, an agency is providing, which is housekeeping, 24/7 guest services, 7-day-a-week arrivals, same-day changeovers. At the end of the day, you kind of get what you pay for. Rented, which is a large aggregator, the states also did a study where, they said the average commission rate was 28. So, we're close, between 28 and 30%. Urban rentals between 20 and 25%. I think it's a bit higher now. The study was a while ago, but I thought that was really interesting was this mountain business was quite high, 35%. So, I think that what I wanted to do is put this in context. So just kind of in summary, just because you're working with a large pedestrian franchise doesn't mean that service is the same as a service that's provided by a short-term rental agency. let me just say, you need totally different culture, you need totally different tech stack, you know, you need different knowledge. It's a different business. Although people think that it's you know, the same, you know, people sleeping, you know, bums and beds, it's certainly not. You know, this is short-term rentals is more of a hospitality accommodation business, whereas a property management business is real estate business, right? So I hope that we give you guys a little bit more insight into property management in terms of, you know, what you should expect to pay from a short-term perspective as well as a long-term perspective. Always happy to help. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to propertyproviders.com or help@propertyproviders.com or any of our socials. Thank you so much, and good luck.